Hi everyone, I'm Charlie or Ms. Lily or Miss Charlie Montessori, depending on how you want to call me. And I'm so glad to welcome you all back here for another reading with me. It's great to have you all here with me and joining in this session. I hope that this post finds you all warm and well on this Sunday afternoon. It's very cold up here in northern Canada, in Edmonton, Alberta. We're not even going to talk about that. I'm looking forward to sharing another book with you today, this time a book all about one of the most reverent figures of Black history, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The book that I've chosen for day 2 is titled Martin's Big Words, The Life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and it's written by Doreen Rappaport and illustrated by Bryan Collier. Now, I want to start out this reading by taking a page from one of my favorite educators, Britt Hawthorne, who mentioned that when reading books during Black History Month, it is very important to spend some time discussing the authors and illustrators of each of the books that you choose. Doreen Rappaport is in fact a white writer who has written other young adult books that circle on the topic of Black history, including one titled Escape from Slavery. But really why I chose this book is because of Bryan Collier, the illustrator, whose pictures you'll see are just absolutely incredible. Collier actually received the Coretta Scott King honor for the book Freedom River, as well as another book that he actually wrote entitled Uptown, which you should definitely check out. His talents are just incredible, and the beauty of the pictures that depict the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. are just stunning and worth the read of this book alone, on top of which, yes, he is also Black. To be clear, this is not my favorite children's book on the subject of Martin Luther King Jr., and I will share another 1 or 2 books over the month that are biographically about him and that I feel are better. Some of the quotes in this book are misrepresented, and there is a clear lack of diversity when it comes to the support that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. actually got during the civil rights movement. However, for young readers, early childhood education, going up to grades 3, 4, and 5, I do feel that the message that Dr. King was trying to spread of nonviolence and love is passed on well, and his story is shared in an accessible and easy way for an introduction. He is undeniably an important part of Black History Month, and so I felt that it would be important to bring this book out today. I would welcome your suggestions, though. I hope you enjoy this read and some of the audio clips that I've included in this reading of Dr. Martin Luther King speaking as well live. As for other news, please make sure to add my new Instagram account. I've actually opened up one separately just for these readings and for future readings as well. It's called @MissCharlieReads, where I will be featuring all of my readings for you to check out exclusively. My readings will also be available on my YouTube channel, which is titled Miss Charlie Montessori. So let's get started, and let's make sure that when we're listening, we're spreading love, joy, and kindness. Okay, let's go, guys. Martin's Big Words, The Life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. by Doreen Rappaport, and illustrated by Bryan Collier. Everywhere in Martin's hometown, he saw the signs, white only. His mother said that these signs were in all southern cities and towns in the United States. Every time Martin read the words, he felt bad until he remembered what his mother told him. You are as good as anyone. In church, Martin sang hymns. He read from the Bible. He listened to his father preach. These words made him feel good. When I grow up, I'm going to get big words too. Martin grew up. He became a minister like his father, and he used the big words he had heard as a child from his parents and from the Bible. Everyone can be great. He studied the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. He learned how the Indian nation won freedom without ever firing a gun. Martin said love when others said hate. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. He said together when others said separate. He said peace when others said war. Sooner or later, all the people of the world will have to discover a way to live together.
Sooner or later, all the peoples of the world will have to discover a way to live together in peace.
In 1955, on a cold December day in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks was coming home from work. A white man told her to get up from her seat on the bus so he could sit. She said no and was arrested. Montgomery's black citizens learned of her arrest. It made them angry. They decided not to ride the buses until they could sit anywhere they wanted. For 381 days, they walked to work and school and church. They walked in rain and cold and in blistering heat. Martin walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them until the white city leaders had to agree that they could sit anywhere they wanted. When the history books are written, someone will say there lived black people who had the courage to stand up for their rights. In the next 10 years, black Americans all over the South protested for equal rights. Martin walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them. White ministers told them to stop. Mayors and governors and police chiefs and judges ordered them to stop, but they kept on marching. Wait! For years I have heard the word wait. We have waited more than 340 years for our rights.
We have waited for more than 340 years for our constitutional and God-given rights.
They were jailed and beaten and murdered, but they kept on marching. Some black Americans wanted to fight back with their fists. Martin convinced them not to by reminding them of the power of love. Love is the key to the problems of the world. Many white Southerners hated and feared Martin's words. A few threatened to kill him and his family. His house was bombed. His brother's house was bombed, but he refused to stop. Remember, if I am stopped, this movement will not be stopped, because God is with this movement. The marches continued. More and more Americans listened to Martin's words. He shared his dreams and filled them with hope. I have a dream that one day in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. After 10 years of protests, the lawmakers in Washington voted to end segregation. The white-only signs in the South came down.
I have a dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream. Right now in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. cared about all Americans. He cared about people all over the world, and people all over the world admired him. In 1964, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. He won it because he taught others to fight with words, not fists. Martin went wherever people needed help. In April 1968, he went to Memphis, Tennessee. He went to help garbage collectors who were on strike. He walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them. On his second day there, he was shot. He died. His big words are alive for us today. I want to thank you all for taking the time to listen to this story, and I hope that today you can take the idea of love, of nonviolence, of peace, and spread that out to the world around you. I look forward to you coming back to join me for the next reading. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care.